Hey guys, it's Chris from Lewis Realty, and I got my partner here, Zach. And today we're going to take you guys on a little Topsail shipwreck and murder mystery tour. We're in the Jeep today. We're going to start out on the beach, Topsail adventure style, and we're going to head down to a shipwreck. Once we get down there, we're going to give you a little story on what happened with the shipwreck. It was 1919 when this happened, so almost 100 years ago. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys talk with Zach a minute. We're going to pull out on the beach, and you guys are in for a treat. You'll get some more beach shots, and we'll make our way down to the shipwreck.
All right, guys, let's roll. I know y'all don't want to see me, so let's flip this camera around. All right. Emergency vehicles only. Well, this is an emergency. Oh, there was a shipwreck. Let's go emergency and check it out. Four-wheel drive. Gotta have it. There we go. Ocean there. It's a nice mild day here on the ocean, or on the beach today. I think it's supposed to be mid-60s. Not too shabby. There's a fella walking his dog looking for no, he's not looking for nothing. How you doing, sir? He's got his lacrosse stick. I guess he likes to play fetch with the dog.
Fishing Pier. We're going to talk a bit more about that. It's what's left of Barnacle Bills, but we're first going to go to the shipwreck. Now at this point, we're as far north as we're allowed to go by the town of Surf City, so we're going to park the Jeep and walk just a little short walk here to the shipwreck. As we pass Barnacles, I'll tell you about Barnacle Bills, and then I'll show you the big shipwreck we're going to see today.
Now, is that why there's a stop sign right there?
That's what that means. It means stop.
Stop means stop. All right, guys, let me gather my belongings. All right, vacate the Jeep. All right, let's hoof it a little bit. Somebody's already been driving on the beach. I guess that was the town, making sure everything's as it should be.
Now, where we're at, guys, we're around the Dolphin Street beach access, kind of the northern portion, mid-northern portion of Surf City. Got a few rentals here. Art's Place, a lot of surf condos.
3 gulls and a buoy.
3 gulls and a buoy. Beach ball, ball cottage. Got quite a few here, so if you're interested in staying near these relics, we got you covered on that in the vacation rental department. Give them a shot over here at Barnacles while we're walking. All right, what this is, that was Barnacle Bill's Fishing Pier. We've got a picture of what it used to look like. And that's what it used to look like. That's the pier house. It was right up here where these homes are at now. And Barnacle Bill started out as when the military had Operation Bumblebee here, they had an officers club right up here, and it was where the officers went to have a good time and relax. After the military left and the island was turned over to private investors, a gentleman came in, bought that officers club, built the fishing pier, turned the officers club into the pier house and a restaurant called Dinosaur. That was operated from, I believe, the late 50s, 1960s until 1996. And what happened in 1996 is we had Hurricane Fran, and I used to work at Barnacle Bill's Fishing Pier back in the 90s as a young man, about 17, 18 years old. And the owner of it, Doug Medlin, used to tell us after every storm that he wasn't going to rebuild after the storm, and we all thought he was kind of just feeding us the line. Hurricane Bertha had came through a few months before, and us boys had went out with Mr. Doug and repaired the pier. Mr. Doug told us yet again, I'm not going to rebuild it if this happens again. Well, lo and behold, 1996 came, and Hurricane Fran was quite strong. She damaged the pier heavily, damaged the pier house, and as you see, Mr. Doug did not rebuild.
Not much left here, guys. Chris, Hold on one second. I have found a shark's tooth. I'm a shark tooth collector, so add this to my collection. Guys, and there's probably about 300 or 400 more shark's teeth in the area, so I'm not going to take them all, I promise. But if y'all want to come find your own, book with Lewis Realty and come find your shark's teeth.
What you guys will see here, we've had some waving ocean currents that has exposed these relics that we're going to show you today. These items like this are not always exposed. Barrier islands are always moving. So now these are exposed. This is actually parts of the concrete pad where the Officers Club and then later Barnacle Village used to be, buried in the sand.
Trucking up here. As Chris said, the island's always moving, so that's why the north end, they've got a lot of the sandbags up there, which, hey, maybe one of these days. Oh, hold on. No, sorry, thought it was sea glass. Another popular treasure item people like to find nowadays.
If you guys, speaking of treasures, a lot of times you'll see some old gentlemen out on the beach with their metal detectors, and you know, they may be just looking for pocket change, but a lot of times they find rings that people's lost. They find old Civil War relics. Sometimes they get lucky and find something from the 17 or 1800s that's been buried and a storm current has uncovered it. So if you're a treasure hunter, get you a metal detector, come on down to Topsail, and you'll probably find you a little treasure to take home.
Didn't someone find some of the leftovers from Operation Bumblebee a few years back?
Yep. We've there's actually been some rockets found on the island. Some of those are on display down at the Missiles and More Museum at Topsail Beach. Probably some other military paraphernalia buried on our sand here.
Sorry for that stop. Another shark's tooth. What can I say? They find me. Uh-oh, here we go.
All right, so what we've got here is the shipwreck. And as I said, the island's always moving. Sometimes this is totally hidden. Sometimes it's totally exposed. Right now, it's only partially showing. So we brought some pictures to show you what it looks like when it's totally exposed, if you guys can see that. We believe it's part of the decking of the ship.
I think it is confirmed. I read yesterday it is the decking due to the construction of it and what they can see.
If you guys can see, this is the kind of nails they used. They were big iron spikes and the large timbers here. So what I'm going to tell you guys now is about what this is, other than a piece of stripping. This is from the William H Sumner. 1919, she set sail from Puerto Rico. She was a phosphate ship. She was headed up north. She had a young captain. He was 25 years old. It was his first voyage. As they got down around New Topsail Inlet, which is actually the south end at Topsail Beach, some people on the islands noticed that the three-masted schooner was sailing kind of close to the shore. It wasn't unusual to see three-masted schooners in the early 1900s off of Topsail, but it was unusual to see them so close to the shore. Next thing we know, the Sumner had run aground on a shoal, and any ship, whether it's fiberglass, steel, or wood, is bad news when you run aground, because the ocean will beat the ship against the sand and tear it apart. When I say aground, that's an old waterman's term. Basically, they've run on a shoal with very shallow water. That's what running aground means. So she ran aground, and the captain wrote in the log off New Topsail Inlet, ran aground, set anchor. So he was going to be waiting for the tide to come in so they could get the ship off the ground. The first mate decided he was going to go into Hampstead, which was about 11 miles away, to find help. He went, he got some help, they came back, and the captain was dead. He had a gunshot into his temple. His right earlobe was blown off, and the first mate said, must have been suicide. His first voyage, and he's run aground, and he's threatening, the ship's being threatened to be taken. It got the best of him. He killed himself. The Pender County coroner decided to do an investigation because it didn't seem right. There was no gunpowder burns on the captain's face, which, how can it be self-inflicted if there's no gunpowder wounds? It looked more like a murder scene. After a big trial, they never did convict the first mate. It was just so much speculation around it, and they did let the first mate go. The first mate said as he was leaving the courthouse, I'm headed to Alabama on the first thing that smokes. And history loses track of what happened to him after that. But the speculation is that the captain wanted to steam northward, and the crew was growing uneasy. They wanted to go ashore, get supplies, probably drink some rum, probably find some women, and have a good time on their voyage. All right, we're back. We lost signal on our adventure here, so I'm not sure where we lost signal at, but after the event, the ship broke apart, and pieces of it came up here to northern part of Surf City. The other pieces of the ship are buried somewhere offshore. We don't know where. Could be in the inlet, could be somewhere else. The neat thing about shipwrecks on North Carolina coast is that the sand preserves them when it buries. This is 100 years old, and it's not rotten. So
now, what are the rules when people come to check this place?
Yeah, this is actually, it's registered historical spot, so you're not supposed to touch it, alter it, take pieces of it, anything that's going to damage it. They leave it where it's at. They're not ever going to move it and let nature take its course on the Sumner.
Very nice.
But if you guys would like to see it again, we've got a lot of vacation rentals right here in the area that you can walk down here if you're lucky. The ocean and sea currents will be as such where you can get a good shot of it. Got the surf condos there to the north. Got a few rental houses right through here, Arts Place, Beach Ball, a few others. And of course, if you're looking to buy, we can sell you a house right here with a piece of history. I'm not sure where the drone is at
over
today.
Here. It's
right over there. We'll have you guys some drone shots in the next day or so to share with you of the beach.
Thanks to Cloud Media again.
Cloud Media.
They let me come hang with us.
So if you guys got any questions before we sign off.
Last video, we're up to 10 viewers. Helen asked if she can come look for shark's teeth and sea glass.
Yes, you can. Just get done balancing the books.
Very nice, very nice.
If you guys don't know who Helen is, she's one of our bookkeepers at the office.
Just to add a little bit to what you were saying, they said that the other crew members sort of told on the first mate. They said that he had already tried to kill the captain twice. Once he tried to throw a lantern at him, and the other time was with a knife. So just a little, might see that on the next Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah, that does sound a lot like that may be a murder mystery there from 100 years ago here at Topsail.
Helen asked what happened to the crew. Everybody but the first mate was pretty much let go. While the trials were going on, they held them each under $1,000 bond. I wasn't alive in 1919, but I think that was a whole lot of money back then. They let all them go. First mate, they kept him until the jury basically said, we don't know what happened, not guilty. So based on lack of evidence and knowledge. So,
and also, while we're walking here, speaking of shipwrecks, there's a lot of interesting things around here a lot of people don't know about. Down at Leeds Island, which is at the south end of our island across Topsail Inlet, it's a barrier island. You can only get to it by boat. At the southern end of that island, there's an actual 1800s blockade runner from the Civil War. Story with that is they were carrying lead bars to bring to the Confederate Army to make into bullets during the Civil War. The Union forces was offshore. They saw the blockade runner. The blockade runner was designed to run through those blockades, get up a river where the large ships could not get them. And but unfortunately at that time the Union ships were closing in fast So the captain of the blockade runner decided to scuttle the ship. That means to destroy the ship so that the Union Army could not get those lead bars to make bullets to use against the Confederacy. That's at the south end of Leeds Island. You can actually see the boiler sometimes when the water's very clear. It's just off the beach in about 10-15 foot of water. Sometimes you can find lead bars down there still.
Are those, again, part of that don't touch, don't take?
Yep, don't touch, don't take rule. It's another historical marker. There was a shrimp boat off the island here probably back in the 80s that caught part of a airplane. Looked to be a military canopy. We don't know where it came from. It could have been a drone that the military was using for target practice, or it could have been something that had happened, back in World War II. Farther offshore, we've got a lot of shipwrecks. It's the graveyard of the Atlantic. We've got a German submarine, U-352, from World War II that was sank by the Coast Guard cutter Icarus. We've got multiple merchant ships that were sank by the German U-boats. We've got some artificial reef wrecks that were sunk on purpose for fish habitat. We can't take you to those because you have to dive on them. I've dove on a few of them. Still want to do the German sub at some point. But, the point is that, Topsail's rich in history. If you're a history buff, this place has got lots and lots of stories that we could tell you. So with that said, we look forward to seeing you guys here this summer. And if you ever have any questions, just post them on our Facebook.